The first Pro Late Model race started off with a bang as Augie Grill and Christopher Tullis led off the field. We almost had the first caution when the number 4 of Kyle McCallum got loose and almost caused the first caution. Meanwhile, Justin South in the 43 was working his way through the field as he passed the H2 of Brett Holmes. Then we had the first caution come out when the number 23 of Dalton Grindle ended up spinning out. Going back green flag racing, Augie Grill shot out in front of the field with Christopher Tullis still running in second place. Then we had another caution come out. We went back green flag racing with Augie Grill and Christopher Tullis leading off the field once again, with Justin South and Chandler Smith right behind them. Then we had the next caution come out when the black number 7 of Cole Daffrin ended up losing control and spinning out. Going back green flag racing, Augie Grill led off the field once again, with Christopher Tullis battling for the second place spot with Chandler Smith in the 26. As the racing action continued on, Bobby Knox Jr. in the number 30 was working his way through the field as well, as was the 43 of Justin South as he battled side by side with the 26 of Chandler Smith. Then we had the next caution come out when the number 99 of Ashley Lewis hit the wall protection. On the restart, Christopher Tullis battled Justin South side by side for the second place spot and tried to get underneath Augie Grill, and he was able to get the lead away from him, with Justin South going to the inside of Augie Grill for the second place spot. They continued to battle side by side, and then out came the caution. Going back green flag racing, Christopher Tullis would be on the inside and Augie Grill was on the outside, with Justin South in the 43 and the H2 of Brett Holmes right behind them. We also went 3 wide at one point as Bobby Knox Jr. worked his way into the 5th place spot. Then Justin South worked his way around Augie Grill for the second place position. Then we had the caution come out because of the 21 of Jason Furrow. On the restart, side by side, Christopher Tullis battled with Justin South, but Justin South was able to get the advantage. Then the number 50 of Ty Roberts got into a crash with the number 11 of Will Martin. Going back green flag racing, Augie Grill battled side by side with Bobby Knox Jr. for the 3rd place spot, and Bobby was able to make the pass on the outside. And then Augie Grill tried to hang on, but he just couldn't quite do it as the drivers went 3 wide right behind him. And watch Brett Holmes, he gets a little bit loose, but he's able to hold on. Augie Grill would continue to fall back a few spots, but at the end of the day, it would be the number 43 of Justin South taking home the checkered flag, with Christopher Tullis finishing in 2nd and Bobby Knox Jr. finishing in 3rd. The first local race at Montgomery Speedway started with the Late Model Open Sportsman. Off the start, it would be Brad Edwards and Justin Caton leading off the field. Side by side, they would battle it out until Brad Edwards would get the advantage. Also moving up through the field was the 89 of Dave Mader. He had worked his way past Jason Furrow for the second place spot. Then eventually he would make the pass on Brad Edwards for the lead. Meanwhile, the 51 of Perry Bettino would battle side by side with Brad Edwards for the second place spot. And eventually Perry was able to get the spot away. Then the first caution came out when Brad Edwards lost control of his car and spun out. Meanwhile, the 17 of Chance Atkins ended up going up in flames. Going back green flag racing would be Dave Mader and Perry Bettino leading off the field. Then Roger Roos, last week's winner, would work his way through the field, passing the number 21 of Jason Furrow and then the number 7 of Justin Caton. But at the end of the day, it would be Dave Mader taking the checkered flag, with Perry Bettino finishing in 2nd and Roger Roos finishing in 3rd. The next local race would be the street stock race. Off the start, Brian Hutchinson in the 38 led off the field with the number 7 of Will Smith right behind him. Eventually, his teammate, the number 6 of Charles Davis, would work his way through the field to the 3rd place spot. But the main battle that everybody was talking about was the battle for 3rd between Josh Wilson in the number 12 and the 31 of Dwayne Westenberg. Then at one point, Dwayne Westenberg drove it in really hard to get around Josh Wilson, and around they went, making contact, and also involving the 88 of Bubba Nesbitt and the number 7 of Will Smith. On the restart, it proved to be wild as David Wood worked his way to the 2nd place spot to run down the number 6 of Charles Davis. More chaos ensued right behind them. There was contact made, and right into the wall goes Bubba Nesbitt in the 88 and the 80 of Davey Lynn. Luckily, both drivers were A-OK, and that was a good sign for everybody. Going back green flag racing, Charles Davis and David Wood battled side by side for the lead. They would battle it out, but eventually Charles Davis was able to get the lead from the 24 of David Wood. Then in the last few laps, it came down to a battle for third between Dwayne Westenberg and Josh Wilson. Dwayne Westenberg would eventually get the advantage on Josh Wilson, but Charles Davis would take home the checkered flag with David Wood second and Dwayne Westenberg finishing in third. The final local race of the night would be the modified mini race, and it wouldn't be long until we got to the first caution as the number 8 of Chase Spradlin ended up spinning out. On the restart, Steve Looney in the 21 led the 22 of David Davis. Eventually, David Davis was able to get the lead as Chase Spradlin worked his way on the outside and passed Rusty Alverson and Frankie Spradlin. He would try to run down David Davis, but at the end of the day, it would be David Davis taking home the checkered flag with Chase Spradlin finishing in second and Rusty Alverson finishing in third. Then it was time for the last race of the night, the second Pro Late Model race. Off the start, Bobby Knox Jr. and Perry Bettino led off the field. Bobby Knox Jr. had the advantage until we had a big wreck to start off the race. We went back green flag racing, and watch this move. Christopher Tullis is able to make it 3 wide. He makes the pass on Perry Bettino and moves up into second place right behind Bobby Knox Jr. Then we had another caution come out when 2 cars got into another crash. We went back green flag racing, and Bobby Knox Jr. led off the field with Christopher Tullis battling him side by side for the lead. But then watch this. There's contact made, and that results in a huge pile-up, and watch this. Bam! Augie Grill gets hit, boom! And another hit right there. And Augie Grill's right there on top of the 181 of Aiden Eldridge. A massive, massive pile-up. We went back green flag racing with Christopher Tullis and Brett Holmes. Then we had another caution come out when the number 95 of Warren Mobley and the 28 of Rick Dirtle got together. Going back green flag racing, Brett Holmes was in the lead with Casey Roderick working his way through the field. Then the number 51 of Perry Bettino made the pass on Christopher Tullis. Then Christopher Tullis got Perry loose, went back to the inside, and Christopher Tullis was able to get the third place spot back. Then Brandon Herbert hit the wall protection, causing the next caution. Going back green flag racing, Brett Holmes and Casey Roderick battled it out. Then another caution came out when the number 2 of Luke Christian ended up spinning out. And just when you thought we were done with cautions, on the restart, Brett Holmes and Casey Roderick battled side by side, and then right behind him, we had a massive pile-up once again that included the 43 of Justin South and the 26 of Chandler Smith. It was a wild, action-packed night at Montgomery Speedway, to say the least. On the restart, Casey Roderick was able to get the lead from the H2 of Brett Holmes, and at the end of the day, he would take home the checkered flag with Brett Holmes finishing in second and Christopher Tullis finishing in third, capping off an unbelievable action-packed night at Montgomery Motor Speedway.